What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Jacked Up Fishing. Well, if you've been following along, I have got some serious projects in the works. I got the big offshore boat, and I've also got my gigging boat. Gigging boat's almost done, and I've got some new lights to put on there and do some wiring, and we are on the water. So after some lengthy discussions with Trevor at Outrigger Outdoors, we came up with this solution. I got the Swamp Eye HD bow fishing light, and this light is pretty high tech from what I'm used to using back in the day. I'm gonna go ahead and open this box, show you what I got. So I just opened the box, and here it is. Here's the light. This is just one of the lights. Look at the size of this thing, man. It's pretty serious. I got 4 of them. These things put out some serious lumens. I'll put the lumens down here for you guys to see. I don't know off the top of my head, but man, they are pretty serious lights. You can also adjust the hue from like an orangish, like amber, all the way up to a bright white. So that's pretty cool too for your water clarity. Some people have really dirty water. Some people have really clean water. You can maximize it by going really light or really white on the clear water, and amber helps see and penetrate through the silty silt water that, you know what I'm talking about, like up in Jacksonville, North Florida, Louisiana. And we sometimes get that here in Daytona as well. So yeah, pretty cool. So what I'm gonna do is mount these on the John boat. I have a rail mount already. If you haven't seen that video, it's right here. It's where I make the rail mount and the light bar, or the grab bar. But I'm not gonna mount them permanently right now. I wanna mount them with just so I can move them around, make sure I got the right spot for them before I mount them permanently. Let me show you what I'm doing. So here's what I'm doing right now. I'm just putting some hose clamps up here right now. It's pretty solid right now, but I wanna make sure I'm gonna mount 2 of them, one right here on each side, and just adjust them to make sure that I get a good coverage. I don't want any dark spots to show up, and like, you know, spots where I can't see, especially in the front of the boat. On the sides is a different story, but right now I'm just focusing on from this point of the boat forward. I want to be able to put a beam to where you can really see. I don't have anything on the sides as of yet. We'll address that later, but right now I just want to get in front of the boat as far as I can see and get a good light. So that's what I'm doing right now, just kind of putting this up there. I'm going to tape these so it don't catch anybody, but man, it's pretty solid. Once I learn where I want these, I'm gonna bring, you know, stuff out on the water with me to adjust everything. Once I get them where I want them, I'll permanently mount them. But right now, I'm just gonna get them hooked up, get them wired up, and I gotta do the whole wiring on this boat anyway, so let's go. So that's what I got so far. Gotta do a little adjusting, and I'll definitely bring some wrenches with me when I go out there. But man, it's gonna be a lot of light. So let me get these other ones on here, see how it looks. All right, so I got them all mounted up there. They look pretty boss. Check them out. Yeah. And like I said, there's probably gonna be some adjustment out there, but now I get to wire them. And wiring is a little bit different. These are 24-volt lights, and they put out some serious lumens, like I said. But they come with all these different connections, which is really awesome. And I'm gonna show you these right now. All right, so what's super cool about the Outrigger Outdoors lights is they come with 2 wires, just like this, you can see, off each light. One is to control the hue, like I was telling you earlier, just a little dial knob that you use. And then the other one's your power wire. And if you look, they have these awesome splice connections. So you can rig them up together separately, but this is how they come individually. Now Trevor made me up another one right here. As you can see, this is a controller one. And you can string all the lights together and have one controller, which is key. Really neat. So I'm gonna hook these up, and then I'm gonna hook the power up. It's 24-volt system. I'm gonna run to the back, and hopefully I can get it working, show you how it looks like tonight. So like I said, Trevor sent me some stuff. I'm gonna modify it to make it work for my application here. And it's gonna make it a little shorter here, because I don't need all this extra line. So I'm unscrewing this right here, and it's all customizable. You can make it, customize it any way you want. Just unscrewing the, take that big length out there. Let's see here. I don't need this one on the end of here. I'll just take it. It's got a little notch, you just put them together. Sorry about the motorcycles. And you screw it together, it's all sealed. There's no way moisture can get in there. And then I'm just gonna plug it into this light here. Just line everything up. It don't get any easier than that, folks. Just like that, boom. Just daisy chaining it up. Yep, and here's the final one. As you can see, there's the groove right here. There's the groove in there. Just line it up, push it together, screw it together. Nice and tight. That's pretty easy right there. Wow. All right, it's now time to get the power wires done. All right, so I got it all wired up. Everything's heat shrunk, tie wrapped nice and neat. I'm gonna put some plumber's padding on the top rail there to hide all this stuff, and it'll keep you from bumping any of it. Heat shrunk, and I'm gonna have a plug back there. But tonight I'm gonna power these bad boys up, and we're gonna see how bright they are. I'll see you then. It's pretty boss. Check this out, dude. It's got a for different color waters. That's crazy. All right, today's another day out here on the John boat. We rigged the lights up last night. Boy, they came out good. I'm just gonna put some plumber's foam around the top, kind of hide all that stuff, but they're on there solid, and they light it up, man. It's crazy. But now, today, I'm gonna finish wiring this boat, get it done, put the numbers on it, and just wrap this thing up. We're ready to put this thing in the water. I also got to do a water pump real quick on the engine, but after that, we're ready to go. So right now, I'm gonna get to running some wires. We're gonna put a little switch panel up here, and a breaker box, rig the batteries up and all that good stuff. It shouldn't be too long. So here's what I got to do today. I have a bunch of wiring to do. Like I said, we're gonna wire up some switch panels. It's very basic stuff on this boat. I get a bilge pump, a few lights, and the main lights, of course, but that's on a breaker. I have 3 battery boxes, one for my engine and my normal running lights, all that good stuff. And these 2 are for the 24-volt system for the lights up front. Now I got wire casing, which this is a sprinkler line. You can get it at Home Depot. It just protects your wires so nothing sticks into them as they run down the side of the gunnel. Got a bunch of wire, switches, a couple of the bow light, and you know, some essentials, some cup holders, good stuff like that. But I'm gonna start rigging now. We're gonna bust this thing out and stencil some numbers on here. Let's go. So I just put the batteries in. I got the batteries in the tank, and this is gonna be the way it's situated. I sit on that side when I drive over there, so I'll have the weight on that side. This side will be the batteries. 6 gallons of fuel. We're gonna start off with that. I can get a bigger one if I want later on. And now I'm gonna start running a little bit of a few wires here and there and use that casing. Let's do it. All right, so I'm using this sprinkler line. It's like a 3/4 or 1 inch sprinkler line. It's black. It's really cheap. And pretty much all it does is gonna shield the wires up to the front. We're pretty rough on these boats. We're jostling stuff around. I don't wanna nick any of these wires, just wanna protect everything. And I'll show you how it fits in here. If you look right here, it slides right behind this groove. So when all the wires are ran through there, it'll actually look pretty nice and neat. Not to say I'm not gonna have other wires poked in there and everything. It is a John boat. It's not gonna be like the best. I'm trying to bust this thing out. I'm ready to get to flounder season. So I measured the first piece of the black tubing to go all the way down the side of the boat there. I have it right here. So then I have a couple wires I want to pull up there along with it. So this is 3-strand 12 gauge wire I'm pulling to the front for the lights. That's for the 24-volt system. I also have a negative wire that I'm putting up there for the light and a positive wire for the light. So what I did was I taped it right to the side nice and tight, and then down a little bit longer I taped another one down there, and now I'm just going to push it through. I just got it through the other side. I actually ended up using a little bit of silicone lubricant spray just to kind of guide it through, give it a little lube, and they come through pretty easy now. So let's go ahead and run these through the side of the boat. So I got the black tube brand. Look at this bad boy. That looks nice and clean. Not a bunch of stray wires hanging out looking all crummy. So now I'm gonna go ahead, run all the big wires to the batteries for the 24-volt system, get this thing rigged up on the breaker. That'll be done. Then I'll start getting the lights on in the front. We gotta figure out how we're gonna do our switch panel. So I mounted the bilge. It's down in the bilge area. I haven't ran the wires yet. I'm gonna do that all at once. Got the stern light. This is the exit hose for the bilge. I got it right there going straight out the boat. I'm gonna hook it all up to automatic so it's real easy. Turn the power on to the motors, or turn the power on. Boom, you're done. So it's the next day. It got dark on me pretty quick after work last night. This time change is for the birds. But we're back out here. I got quite the mess going on. I made a nice little switch panel. Simple 3 switches. Putting a little bus bar inside there. Got a couple drink holders on the boat. Mounted the machine, the chart plotter, fish finder I had. And I just had it laying there, so I might as well put it on. It's pretty boss. It's from one of my shoal water back in the day, but you know what? Put it on here. That's what's fun about these boats, is actually putting stuff on them and you know, accessorizing these little John boats. They're fun, man. It's a fun thing to do. You can get carried away like I did too. That's what we're doing right now, but I have to wrap this up. I got to get this thing on the water. Got to stick some fish. Flounder season's here, and there's some big ones out there. Anyway, let me go ahead and finish this up. So what I'm going to do now is finish up this wiring, hook the batteries up, put a battery switch in, and I got a couple courtesy lights to do. And then I got some stencils, stencil the numbers on the side, put the sticker on, put a water pump in. We're hitting the water. So as you can see, I'm all covered with white stuff. On these cheap builds, I like to use this PVC board from Home Depot. So I got some PVC board there. I also put a backer up here just to make a little backer there. I got a backer back there. That way I can screw my battery switch to it. And this is gonna be a little door that I can put back here over the batteries. Like so. It's gonna fold up and down. That way the batteries are covered, they're out of the elements. I can also mount my charger in there and not have to worry about it getting rained on. At least it protects it a little bit. Most chargers are waterproof, but still, anytime you can get the weather and keep the elements off it, it really works good. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint this bad boy with the drive olive green, make it match the boat, try to get this thing bolted up and finish the wiring. Going on here now, check it out though. Got it all rigged up nice and killer. Little switches. I gotta put some loom over this, seal this hole up here, but other than that, it looks pretty boss. We're getting there, man. We're getting there. So everything's all done. Doing a little systems check, checking my courtesy lights. They go from white to red. Checking out my spotlight, my running lights. Make sure everything works real good, and it does. It looks great. I'm pretty pumped. So the wind was howling, but I could not help myself. I wanted to get the boat out there, check it out. So we're out here right now getting beat up. It is choppy, cold. but it's okay. We're out here. Boat's doing about 26 mile an hour with this 25 Merc, and it's rolling out. I'm just having some fun back here in the back creeks, ripping around, having a blast. Man, this thing is awesome. Later on that night, the anticipation was killing us, so we actually dropped the boat in. Water was filthy. We went and looked around. This is the amber hue color on the lights, which is a game changer. This water's filthy, but you could still see the bottom, which was cool. We actually did find some cleaner water out towards the channel, and as you can see, the bright white lights really lit it up. You can see forever. Good night. You can't see a flounder with these, something's wrong.
Stevie Wonder could see a flounder with these.
All right, guys. Well, she's on the lift, so be on the lookout for some new content. We're gonna go do some flounder gigging. As soon as this wind dies down, we're gonna get out there. But in the meantime, stay tuned for my next video on how to build these flounder gigs I got. Pretty good gigs. You can't beat them. All right, guys. That's all I got for you on this one. Jacked Up out.